So in order to decide whether a relation is a function, I need to look and make sure that none of the inputs repeat with different outputs. So I take a look at number 1. 4 repeats twice, but each time it repeats, it has different y values. So this one is not a function. And then if I take a look at number 2, none of my x values repeat, so it is a function. Numbers 2 and 3, it's giving me a graph, so I want to use the vertical line test. So I'm going to take out my ruler, and then pass it through. It only touches once, so it is a function. And then something that you might see is the vertical line test, abbreviated as VLT. So just know that if you see VLT, it stands for vertical line test. On number 4, I'm going to go back ahead and take my ruler. If I look, it's touching twice. So it is not a function. It fails the vertical line test. Moving on, it wants me to find domain and range for 5 and 6. Domain is my x value, range is my y values. So if I take a look on number 5, for my domain, I'm just looking for the x values of those points. So I have, this one is counting by 3, so I'm going to go fill in those missing points. And then the x's are counting by 2's. So my domain is going to be 4, 8, and 12. Those are the x values where I have points. And then my range is going to be 3, 9, and 15. Those are the y values for my points. On number 6, my domain is... I was going to say 0 to 6. Because it starts here, ends here. So I have 0 and 6. This one gets written with an inequality because it's a straight line, x is in the middle. It's going to be less than or equal to on both of them because it's got solid dots between the lines. My range is going to follow a similar pattern. It starts at 20, goes up to 60, and then it's less than or equal to because it's got solid circles. And I wrote y because remember range is y. Number 7 and 8 wants me to decide what a linear and nonlinear function is. Remember, linear means line. So 7 is linear, 8 is nonlinear. On number 9 and 10, it wants me to decide if it represents a linear or nonlinear function. So I look at my change in y. This one adds 2, adds 2, adds 2. Then I'm going to look at my change in x. Adds 1, and then adds 1. So it's the same for the x and y. So this one is linear. This one adds 3, adds 1, not 3. And this one adds 4. It's not even the same, so this one is not linear. Okay. A linear equation has everything written in a straight line, so no exponents, no fractions with variables. So this one is linear, this one is linear. Everything is written in a straight line. We take a look at number 13, not linear because of the exponent. I take a look at number 14, it's not linear because the x is on the bottom. Okay. Numbers 15 through 17 want me to evaluate when x equals -2, 0, and 5. I'm just going to do -2 for the first one, 0 for the second, 5 for that. So I have f of -2 equals -2 minus 3. I plug that in for x. So then I just go ahead and rewrite. I have f of 2 equals -5. I'm going to do the same thing on number 16. I'm going to do g of 0 equals -2 times 0. So g of 0 gives me 0. On 17, do the same thing. This time it's going to be h of 5 equals 5 minus 3 times 5. Three times 5 is 15. And 5 minus 5 is going to give me negative. Okay. On number 18, it wants me to find the value of x when f of x equals 7. This is saying y equals 7. So if I go over here, my y equals 7 right there, my x value equals 3. So if you go over here, I'll go over to my x value of 7, and go down, my y value, so my x value is 4. If I take a look at number 20, it wants me to decide which one is dependent and which one is independent. Independent comes first. And not first in the sentence, but first in the situation. So it says the cost of pencils is a function of quantity purchased. So quantity is independent. And cost is dependent. Okay. And 21, it says the cost of tickets for the amusement park is a function of days visited. So days visited is independent. And cost is dependent. Gonna move on. Number 22 gives me a word problem. It tells me the function c of x equals 29x plus 54.5 is the cost of dollars for cable in X months, including the fee. It wants me to figure out how much I will have spent after 6 months. So what I'm going to do is I am going to plug in 6 into the equation. My C looks like 6. Parentheses. So I plug in 6. So I have C of 6 equals, this. 29 times 6, which is 174. And then I want to add that to 54.5, which is 228. It's money, so I want to have 2 decimal places and the dollar sign. On B, it wants me to figure out how many months of cable service I can have if I spend from $44.50. So I'm going to set that on the left side of the equation. Equals 29x plus 54.50. I start off by subtracting the 54.50. Figure out how much. It's 290. So then I have 290 equals 29x. X is awful. I divide by 29 on both sides. And I get x equals 10. Okay. if I take a look at 23 and 24, I want to figure out if I'm going to have continuous or discrete. Remember, discrete is a bunch of points where I can't exactly connect them together. 23 is saying I want to figure out the amount of candy handed out at Halloween to a function, is a function of trick-or-treaters. So, I cannot hand out half a piece of candy to the trick-or-treaters. This one is going to be discrete. I can technically hand out half a piece of candy, but I cannot hand out like a fourth. So I can't split it up infinitely. The weight of the child is a function of how old they are. This one, however, you don't just suddenly gain a bunch of weight, you slowly put it on. So this one is continuous. On 25, it wants me to graph x equals 4. This goes through the x-axis. I put a dot at x equals 4, and then I draw a straight up and down line. Remember, 26 is y equals 3, so this goes through the y-axis, and this one's going to be an across, straight across. 27 and 28 want me to use intercepts to graph the equation. So to find my x-intercept, I'm going to plug in 0 for y. So I have 2x equals 0. 4 times 0 is 0, not 4 like I thought. Equals 8, not plus 8. I can rewrite it without the 0, so 2x equals 8. And I divide by 2 on both sides, I get x equals 4. So I'll go ahead and put a dot at x equals 4. And I'm going to do the same thing for my y-intercept. Except this time I'm going to plug in 0 for my x. So I have 2 times 0, which is 0. It's 4y equals 8. Just rewrite it as 4y equals 8. Move this up a bit. And then I divide by 4 on both sides. Y equals 2. So I'm going to go ahead and put a dot at y equals 2. Once I have both points, I connect them. Number 28 is going to work the same way. So I have my x-intercept. I'm going to plug in 0 for y. So I do not have 2 in this problem. I have negative 4x plus 4y. So I'm going to plug in 0 for the y. Negative 4x plus 0 equals 20. Negative 4x equals 20. 4. X equals negative 5. So this time I go left 5. And I'm going to do the same thing for the y-intercept. I have negative 4 times 0 plus 4y equals 20. I get 0 plus 4y equals 20. 4y equals 20. Divide by 4 on both sides. Y equals 5. Then I go ahead and connect the 2 points with my, I did not even use a ruler that time. And I have a few more on the back. It wants me to decide the slope of the line for these ones. So I need to find my change in x, which is adding 3. And my change in y is adding 1. Remember, slope is change in y over change in x. So my change in y was 1, my change in x was 3. Same thing over here, my change in y is 0. My change in x is adding 2. So I have 0 over 2, which simplifies to just 0. Number 31. Y-intercept is the number at the end. Slope is the number in front of x. Okay, so my slope on 31 is negative 6. And my y-intercept is 2. On number 38, I want to set it equal, or I want to get y by itself before I decide, so I subtract x on both sides. I have negative y equals negative x plus 9, divided by negative 1, and I get y equals x minus 9. So my slope is the number in front of x. There's nothing, so I have a secret 1 up front. So my slope is 1. And my y-intercept is negative 9. On these ones, I'm graphing them. I start off with my y-intercept, which is on this one, plus 1. My slope is 1/3, so I go up 1 square over 3. 3, not 2. And then I connect them with my ruler. Number 34 doesn't have a y-intercept, so that means I start at 0. It goes down to right 1. So if it doesn't have a denominator, it is a secret 1. On number 35, I also need to get this one equal to 0 before I can graph. So I'm going to write it off to the side. Subtract 4x from both sides. And I get y equals negative 4x plus 3. So my y-intercept is 3. And my slope is negative 4 over 1. So I go down 4, right 1, and then I connect my points. And that's it.